Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the fifth part of What If Deku Was a Magical Girl Mascot, Quirk, Magical Girl Mascot. The author of this great fanfic is Emma. I will leave links to them and original story in the description. Chapter 5, Election Time and Field Trip Gone Wrong. Ichiko, Katsuki and Izuku were walking to school together, or rather Izuku was riding Katsuki's shoulder. But still the three of them were together. Then they saw the horrifying sight of the press gathered outside. "What's the press doing here?" asked Katsuki. "I don't know," said Izuku. That was when Katsuki grabbed Izuku from her shoulder. "Kaken?" asked Izuku. Then Katsuki prodded to stuff her best friend into her backpack. "Kaken! Why are you doing this?" cried Izuku. "Because you don't have enough of a spine to deal with the press yet," said Katsuki. Ichiko just sweat dropped at this sight. And so they headed inside with the press demanding to know about All Might. "Well, he's all muckly," said Ichiko, answering the questions. "Get the fuck away from me," muttered Katsuki, making her way through. Once Katsuki was in class, she put her backpack on Izuku's desk and let him out. "Really, Kaken?" yelled Izuku once he was free. "Look, we both know you would just freeze up with the press," said Katsuki. "You need to grow a spine, but dealing with the press isn't the best way to do that. You could have done something else and not stuff me into your backpack," cried Izuku. "It either that or toss you over the fence," said Katsuki. Izuku stared at his best friend. "Seriously, Kaken?" sighed Izuku. "Wait, why didn't you let me switch out my shoes?" Katsuki's sweat dropped. "Wait, do I have time?" aced Izuku. "I don't think you'll have time," said Ichiko. Izuku sighed at this. I doubt anyone will notice," said Katsuki. "Kaken, everyone will notice my shoes," sighed Izuku. Katsuki just shrugged. Soon enough class had begun. "I have seen all of yesterday's matches, there's not much for me to say," muttered Aizawa. "That might be, but there is something you must do that affect your future." The entire class was nervous when he said that. "You must pick a class representative," said Aizawa. "Normal school stuff," the class yelled out in surprise. Before most of the class wanting to become class representative. After all, it was a title that many hero agencies would notice and great way to prove leadership skills. It was a madhouse. "Hold on," yelled Ida, "this isn't a position that should be given away lightly. The best way to choose is to hold election." "Wait, if we do that won't everyone vote for themselves?" asked Kirishima. "He's right, none of know each other well," said Azui. "Speak for yourself," muttered Katsuki. "But whoever gets more than one vote means that they have already earned the trust of other students," said Ida, "and thus proving they have what it takes to represent our class." "What do you think, Aizawa?" asked Yayorozu. "Just whatever," muttered Aizawa, "just don't take all day." Izuku looked at Ida and knew what he had to do. And soon enough everyone voted. However, it did not go the way Izuku expected at all. 2 students got more than 1 vote. Yayorozu, who managed to get 2 votes for herself. And the other was Izuku. "How did I get 3 votes? thought Izuku. At the same time Ida was lamenting something. "I only got a single vote?" asked Ida. "Hey, come on, at least your vote got counted," Sato said, reassuring him. Ida didn't say something as the class realized something. He didn't vote for himself. "Seriously, Deku?" asked Katsuki, turning around to look at Izuku. Izuku sighed. And so he, in human form, and Yayorozu stood in front of the class. "Now these are the ones you picked, do you have any complaints?" asked Aizawa. "Is Midoriya wearing his outdoor shoes?" asked Jiro. Izuku sighed. "It's not my fault." sighed Izuku. Kaken stuffed me into her backpack so I wouldn't have to deal with the press and only let me out when we got to class and I didn't have time to go back to the lockers and switch out my shoes. Everyone stared at Izuku. That only makes sense, because you're the one saying it, said Jiro. Izuku laughed nervously at that. But still, he really didn't think he's up to the task. During lunch, of course, he was eating with his friends. This time he sat on Achiko's lap. I can't believe the cafeteria is so crowded, said Achiko. The other course students are also eating here, said Izuku, so it makes sense. He then sighed. Come on Deku, it's not that bad, said Katsuki. But I don't know if I do a good job, cried Izuku. I mean, what if I screw up, what if I... This is why I voted for you, muttered Katsuki. You need to gain a backbone. If you don't get one, then how are you going to get 2 more partners? Izuku pouted somewhat. I believe you can do it, Midoriya, said Ida. That's why I voted for you. But didn't you want the job yourself? Asked Izuku. Wanting it and being qualified are 2 different things, said Ida. But you do have the look for it, said Achiko. What with the glasses and all? That's not how you should judge a class representative, thought Izuku with a sweat drop. That might be, said Ida, sounding like he agreed with Izuku's thought, but I believe you the better candidate and I humbly give the job to you. Humbly? Asked Achiko. Ida, are you rich? Ida began to blush a little. Well, I don't like tell people about this, said Ida, but I come from the Ida family, a family that had been heroes for many years. Have you heard of Ingenium? Oh yeah. He's the turbo hero. He has an agency in Tokyo and has 65 sidekicks, said Izuku with his tail wagging. He's my older brother, said Ida. Really? Asked Izuku with his tail wagging even more. Cool, said Achiko. Katsuki just nodded. He is someone who is very admirable in both heroics and leadership skills. And one day I hope to achieve the skills that he has, said Ida, smile. The 3 looked at Ida surprised. What? Asked Ida. This is the first time I've seen you smile, said Achiko. I smile, said Ida. Katsuki gave Izuku a certain hand signal. It was a signal for Izuku to turn on his telepathy. Hey, Katsuki told him. I think we should tell him. Really? Replied Izuku, surprised. Wait, you don't mean? Thought Achiko. What's going on? Asked Inko. We're going to tell him about the side effects, explained Katsuki. Inko remembering hearing about Ida, knowing it was him. However, before any more could be said, alarm sounded and a voice informing them a level 3 intruder alert. Please remain calm and evacuate. What's a level 3 intruder alert? Asked Achiko to some older students nearby. It means someone got into the school. It hasn't happened in my time here, said the person she asked. But of course everyone started to freak out as they tried to evacuate. Achiko held onto Izuku as tightly as they could as the hallway was jammed packed with everyone trying to flee. During the madness, Ida got pushed into the window and saw what was really going on. The press had broken in. He tried to calm everyone down, but no one listened. He got a plan down. He asked Achiko to cancel out his gravity and he propelled himself to spot and ended up looking like the little guy on the emergency exit and calmed everyone down. This also made Izuku realize something, as well as something he wanted. After everything calmed down and Izuku got the chance to finally change out his shoes, they called Izuku and Yaoyorozu for class business. Now I guess we should determine the other class positions, said Aizawa. Wait, before we get started I want to say something, said Izuku. After what happened I think that Ida should be class representative. The class was surprised. Seriously, Deku? Asked Katsuki. After what just happened, he showed us what he can do, and true leadership skills," said Izuku. "He's got a point," said Kirishima. "Yeah, Eminency exit did calm everyone down," agreed Zero. It should be pointed out that Pose did earn Ida the nickname Emergency Exit. "Whatever," muttered Aizawa, who was clearly done with everything. "I was the one who got more votes than him," thought Yaoyorozu with a sigh. And with that, Izuku was able to give up his position as class representative. However, the day wasn't over. Afterward, while walking to the train station, "Listen, emergency exit," muttered Katsuki. Ida froze. "You really seem like you want to be Izuku's friend," said Katsuki. Ida was even more surprised. "Did you just say?" said Ida. "Ida," sighed Izuku, "if you're serious about being my friend, we think we should tell you about my quirk side effect." "Oh, I see," said Ida, remembering how they were defensive about keeping it private the other day. "Just a word of warning, if you want nothing to do with us, I will make your life a living hell any time we have to deal with each other." Ida just nodded, remembering how protective Katsuki was towards Izuku. "All right," sighed Izuku. He told him the side effect of his quirk if he bonded with a male and how he knew about. He looked at both Katsuki and Izuku. "I see," said Ida, "that actually explains quite a bit." Izuku and Katsuki both looked at him, as did Achiko, who was silent during this. "You can't control what your quirk does," said Ida. "Really?" asked Izuku, who looked to be on the verge of crying. Ida nodded. "It's terrible that you had to go through all that." Izuku started crying so much that his tears were like a waterfall. "Thank you so much," cried Izuku. "Is this another side effect of his quirk?" asked Ida. "No. Auntie is like this too," said Katsuki, removing Izuku from her shoulder to avoid getting soaked. Well, even more soaked. With that many tears, she was already pretty soaked. "Good to know you're an actual friend," said Katsuki with a genuine smile. "What do you mean?" asked Ida. "Everyone in our school wanted to be a hero, yet none of them really practiced what they preached," said Katsuki. "They talked about how they were planning to go to a hero school, completely unaware of how they really were. You really want to be a hero? You've been through a lot, haven't you?" asked Ida. Both Izuku and Katsuki were quiet, well, except for Izuku sobs. It's clear none of them were really trying to be a hero. Ida. "Well, I hate to ruin the moment, but we really should go to the train station," said Achiko. "You're quite right," said Ida. "Come on, Deku, you have to stop crying," said Katsuki. "I know," cried Izuku. They united to the train station, happy that Ida was a true friend and accepted them despite everything. The next day it was a normal school day, thankfully without any problems during lunch. But it was after lunch that was the most interesting. "All right, today's class will be different. We're going to perform rescue training. From floods to fires, you're going to learn what it's like to rescue people," said Aizawa. The class was excited. "It will also be held off-site, so we will be taking a bus there," said Aizawa. "All Might will meet us there along with another hero." He then hit the switch for their costumes. "You may wear your costumes, but remember they might not be suited for rescue work, so remember that when getting ready," said Aizawa. And so the class met up outside the buses. Everyone but Achiko and Katsuki wearing their costumes. The two wearing their gym clothes. Though many of them weren't wearing their entire costumes, as Izuku wasn't wearing his visor or gloves. "All right, everyone," called out Ida, taking charge. "Line up according to class number and step aboard the bus." "He's really getting into his role as class representative," said Achiko. "I think you made a mistake in giving it to him," muttered Katsuki. Izuku laughed at this. However, during the bus ride, Ida was lamenting that the bus screwed up his plans for boarding as it was an open layout. I tend to speak my mind a lot, and I was wondering something, said Azui. What is it, Azui? Asked Izuku, who was in animal form during the bus ride. You can call me Tsu, said Azui, or rather Tsuyu, and your quirk doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense unless you know all about it, laughed Izuku. So how does it work? Asked Kirishima. Well, it's called Magical Girl Mascot, said Izuku. I knew it, yelled Hagakure somewhere on the bus. You see, it allows me create bonds with people, said Izuku. They get a special costume, a power boost while in the costume, and other abilities while in human form. I get a copy of their quirk without the power boost I give them. We also gain a telepathic bond, but it's not all the time, and I'm the only one who can turn it on. Wait, did you give them those wands? Asked Kaminari. Izuku nodded. So wait, is just with girls, or can anyone bond with you? Aside Kirishima, I mean, you said people. There's a side effect if I bond with someone that's male, said Izuku. Really, what is it? Asked Tsuyu. I'll explain another time, said Izuku. Midoriya had a history of bullying because of that side effect, said Ida, so please don't press him. Wait, you told emergency exit? Asked Kaminari. He earned mine and Deku's trust, muttered Katsuki, and the rest of you haven't done the same, so don't. The or else was left unsaid. Also, another thing I get is an added 2 hours as a human if I bond with someone, said Izuku. I only have 6 hours for now, which is why I limit my time. Wait, are you looking for more people to bond with? Asked Yayorozu. Izuku nodded, but I'm not going to make any bond with me unless they want to, or it's an emergency and there's no other choice, said Izuku. What kind of emergency? Asked Kirishima. Well, I bonded with him during the exam, said Ochako. Oh yes, I remember that. You were almost crushed by the 0-pointer, said Aoyama. I remember the sparkle you created when it happened. She was pinned by debris, and neither my mom's or Kaken's quirks would have gotten her free, said Izuku. Wait, you bonded with your mom? Asked Kaminari. I didn't mean to on my end, and my mom decided to because of reasons, said Izuku. What do you mean you didn't mean to? Asked Tsuyu. After I bonded with Kaken, I started to try to initiate bonds randomly. I could barely control it. No one but my mom took it thought, said Izuku. It took me months to control it. Don't make it creepy, Pikachu, muttered Katsuki, glaring at Kaminari. Even Ochako was glaring at Kaminari. I need to make 2 more bonds by the end of the year, sighed Izuku, but like I said, I won't make anyone do it, so don't worry. Izuku sighed. Okay, so his classmates now knew that he was looking for partners, and he had a reason for not taking boys, even if they didn't know that reason. They soon got to their location, which was a large domed building that looked like something like a theme park. Oh wow! It's like Universal Studios, said Ashido. Welcome, said the hero/teacher who was dressed like an astronaut, and welcome to a facility I built. Oh wow! It's 13, said Ochako, really excited. They're my favorite hero. I know. A rescue hero, said Izuku, who had returned to his human form as his tail waged profusely. Wasn't All Might was supposed to hear? Asked Aizawa. Unforgeable, he got up in something, said 13, holding up 3 fingers. The hero then turned to the students. Now this is a faculty I built called the Unforeseen Simulation Joint, or USJ for short, said 13. It really Universal Studios Japan, thought all of the students. Now before I get started, I want to make a point, or rather 2, maybe 3, no wait 4, definitely 4, said 13. The students all sweat dropped. Now you will be here to learn rescue training, said 13, and all of you have quirks? But there is a dangerous side to your quirks. Take for instance my quirk black hole. It sucks up everything and turns it to dust. You've used that quirk in many rescue missions, said Izuku. Yes, but it also can easily be used to kill, said 13. Many of your quirks can be used for good, but remember they are often dangerous. You have learned how to use your quirks to fight. But today you will learn how to use your quirk to save people. After all, your powers aren't meant to inflict harm. Thank you all for listening. The class applauded with Ida being the loudest. But before class could begin, the light suddenly went out. Then they noticed in a central plaza a strange black and purple thing appeared, which then got bigger. The students all saw this. Are those robots? Asked Kirishima. No, stand back. Those are real villains, said Aizawa. The students were shocked. Aren't there supposed to intruder alarms? Asked Yayorozu. They're supposed to go off, said 13, but I don't understand why. This is clearly an organized attack, said Todoroki. They're not a bunch of idiots, they knew they would be here. They picked a place far away from the main campus at a time where there would be few people. There's something blocking our communications with some kind of electrical quirk, said Aizawa. Kaminari, try to get into contact with the school. Okay, said Kaminari. Wait. I can get in contact with my mom, said Izuku. She can call the school. He activated his telepathy. Mom, can you hear us? Thought Izuku. Yeah, replied Inko. You need to get in contact with the school now. We're at a place called the USJ. They're blocking the communications. We can't get in contact with the school, explained Izuku. It's true. There's a lot of villains here, added Ochako. I'll call them right away. Keep this open, please Izuku, replied Inko. Don't worry, I doubt Deku would do anything stupid and cut it off, responded Katsuki. Evacuate them, said Aizawa. I'll handle them. Wait, your quirk isn't good with large crowds, said Izuku. Your quirk is suited for one-on-one fights and binding. No good hero is a one-trick pony, said Aizawa. 13. And with that, Aizawa jumped right into a large crowd of villains. Izuku watched as their teacher held his own. Midoriya, now's not the time, watch, scolded Ida. Oh right, said Izuku. They all began to excavate, but before they could leave the building the black and purple mass blocked their path. It was a villain that was Amorphous Cloud. Greetings, we are the League of Villains, said the Amorphous Cloud. Forgive our audacity, but we are here for one reason: to kill the symbol of peace. Everyone looked at the Amorphous Cloud in shock. He was supposed to be here, but he isn't here, said the Amorphous Cloud, but no matter. I still have a role to play. That was when Katsuki transformed and went in to attack the Amorphous Cloud, being joined by Kirishima. Kaken, thought Izuku. What did she do? Asked Inko. You probably don't want to know, sighed Ochako. Bet you didn't expect that, taunted Kirishima. But I noticed that it didn't seem to work. Get back, yelled 13. But it was too late. The entire area was covered by the Amorphous Cloud's power, engulfing all of the students and spreading most of them through the US, where other villains were waiting for them. And hopefully they would be able to get out of this. That will be it for this part. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment if you want part 6. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the next one.